Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being here today. I have to tell you, The Ultimate Fighter is a tremendous show. It's fantastic, it's incredible, it's the best. Nobody does it better than the UFC. Nobody. And I know a thing or two about fighting, believe me, folks. With that being said, this may be the worst season to date. That first episode was incredibly fucking boring. Conor and Chandler only talked to each other one single time. I want to see some real shit talk between these two little guys. Conor was coked out of his mind most of the goddamn episode. If I had to guess, that may have been why he didn't attend the weigh-ins. Anyways, don't even get me started on this season's fighters. I absolutely hate the fact that we have prospects and veterans. I thought the show was all about prospects. The veterans are far superior in my opinion. They've all either won the Ultimate Fighter or won fights in the UFC. And for the prospects, all you have to do is look at the records of some of these tomato cans. That pussy gentleman, he's a prospect. And he was crying as soon as the episode started. He had been away from his family for 4 days. That's like the honeymoon period. You should be a happy man. Stop with your tears. No one wants to hear it, and nobody wants to see that shit. They then proceeded to give us the two longest backstories about two fighters we don't care about at all. During Jennerman's backstory, they showed footage of Jennerman hitting the bag, and this guy was obviously an amateur on his feet. Then the fight finally comes with 7 minutes left in the episode, so anybody with a brain knew what was going to happen. As soon as the fight started, Jennerman got cracked and finished. We all saw it coming, people. As for the second episode, it begins with a canceled fight due to a disgusting herpes gash on one of Conor's fighters. If you ask me, herpes guy would have lost anyway. Jesus Christ, this fucking mic. It's all fucked up. I sound like goddamn Darth Vader. Anyway, herpes dude gets to stick around a little longer. Lucky enough for him. Any Dagestani has the advantage in competitions like this. They then replaced that fight with Mando Gutierrez and Cody Gibson. Mando, who's probably one of the millions of illegals in our country, lost to a 17-year-old Rosas Jr. in the Contender Series. Mando is a short, stocky, pit bull type fighter. He seems very limited in his abilities, in my opinion. During his training montage, they repeatedly show Conor teaching his fighters how to throw their left hand over and over and over again. Conor seems like he would be the worst possible coach for this guy. You then have your standard beefs in the house. Blah, blah, blah. No one cares. Not interesting at all. They then introduce Cody Gibson, a long bantamweight who's previously been in the UFC. He's a good striker with power in his hands. He was cut after losing to Aljamain Sterling in a split decision on 10 days' notice, and then lost to some bum no one's ever heard of. Then the sob story about his adoption. Chandler and him seem to connect over it. I always seem to forget that Chandler has black kids. Kind of fucking weird. That's what weird white Christian families love to do. Who knows why? I understand a lot of those people support me, but come on, guys. Enough. Plenty of white kids to adopt. Just like Cody Gibson. Mando the barber then proceeds to fuck up Conor's hair. A shock that Conor even allowed this guy to fade him up. Never would that man ever touch my beautiful locks. Conor then gets incredibly drunk with the fighters, and all the guys kiss his annoying Irish ass. Finally, the fight begins. Gutierrez gives Conor his silly little sombrero to wear. Conor McGregor, the Irish bandito. Cody quickly takes control of the fight with a few calf kicks and grappling against the cage. Conor's only suggestion for his fighter is to strike while his back is against the cage. Brilliant. Cody easily outstruck Mando. He didn't get hit by anything, then he hits him with a flying knee, and it's game over for the Mexican. Obviously, I was cheering for the white guy. That's no surprise. In conclusion, I would say episode 2 was slightly better than episode 1. The second fight was actually longer than 10 seconds, so that's a plus. Overall, the show needs improvement, but I'll be back next week to talk about episode 3. Stay tuned, motherfuckers.